And to details, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi addressed on Friday the closing session of the Summit for a New Global Financing Pact in Paris. During his speech, President el-Sisi stressed the importance that developing countries should adopt creative ideas to face climate change, noting that Egypt is keen on carrying out clean energy projects. The president said that Egypt has cooperated with Germany in the project of the electric train in the framework of the Sustainable Development Projects, as well as facing factors of climate change using modern means of transportation. President el-Sisi added that what has been achieved during the last years is not sufficient to support the African countries in the face of the climate change. The president also called for the participating countries in the summit to abide by their pledges and to take serious measures to carry out them. President el-Sisi added that the world has moved to face the repercussions of the coronavirus pandemic as well as the repercussions of the Russian-Ukrainian crisis. The president stressed the importance of taking speed procedures to face such challenges. In his address, the president also thanked French President Emmanuel Macron for his support to Egypt as well as successfully hosting the summit for a new global financing pact. On the sidelines of the summit for a new global financing pact in Paris, President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi held a meeting on Friday with Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman. The two leaders stressed the strong bilateral relations between the two countries. They also discussed ways to boost joint cooperation. The two leaders also discussed a number of Arab regional and international files and agreed to continue efforts to boost joint Arab actions and settle crises in the region. The president also met on Friday with South African President Cyril Ramaphosa. During the meeting, President el-Sisi confirmed Egypt's keenness to develop bilateral relations as well as cooperation with South Africa in various domains. For his part, the South African president praised the bilateral relations, stressing his country's keenness to boost bilateral cooperation with Egypt. He also praised Egypt's role and efforts on the African arena. The meeting also tackled regional issues of mutual concern, including the crisis in Sudan. President el-Sisi also met with Kenyan President William Ruto. During the meeting, President el-Sisi praised the strong bilateral relations and joint cooperation with Kenya, adding that Egypt is looking forward to boosting relations and cooperation with Kenya in all fields. For his part, the Kenyan President praised the historical relations with Egypt, stressing Kenya's keenness to develop bilateral cooperation and increase the trade exchange between the two countries. The meeting also tackled regional issues of mutual concern, including the crisis in Sudan, where the two leaders agreed to intensify consultation and coordination to find a solution to the crisis. President el-Sisi also met with French Economy and Finance Minister Bruno Le Maire. During the meeting, President el-Sisi said Egypt is looking forward to developing joint cooperation with France in the economic and developmental fields, especially through increasing French investments in Egypt. For his part, the French minister stressed his country's keenness to boost the development process in Egypt, stressing France's support to the projects of their French companies in Egypt. French President Emmanuel Macron said on Friday that wealthy nations have finalized an overdue $100 billion climate finance pledge to developing countries and created a fund for biodiversity and the protection of forests. Macron was speaking at the closing session of the Summit for a New Global Financing Pact in Paris, where world leaders had gathered to give impetus to a new global finance agenda. The leaders participating in the summit instead in a statement that multilateral development banks are expected to unlock an additional $200 billion in lending by running their balance sheets more tightly and taking more risk. The statement added that if these reforms are implemented, multilateral development banks may need more capital. On the occasion marking the anniversary of June 30th revolution, the Ministry of Interior organizes an event to celebrate the occasion as part of the 23rd phase of We Are All One initiative. The event is being coordinated with a number of major industrial and commercial companies, as well as food and restaurant chains, to provide citizens with various high-quality food and non-food products at special discounts in celebration of the occasion. The initiative has hundreds of branches, including key super super and hypermarkets nationwide, as well as Interior Ministry's outlets, Aman. The Interior Ministry has announced the increase of the super and hypermarkets participating in the initiative. Their commodities are sold at a discount of 25 to 60% of its market price.